President-elect Trump is vowing to impose 100% tariffs on BRICS nations unless they commit to not developing a new currency.
Donald Trump has threatened a group of 9 nations, the BRICS nations, with a 100% tariff. Who are the BRICS nations? They are represented by 4 major players: Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and were later joined by South Africa, Ethiopia, Iran, Egypt, and the UAE. This order is often compared to the G7, which largely represents Western interests, but someone is very unhappy with this new group, President Trump. However, why is Trump putting in all of these tariff threats on Chinese and Canadian imports, John Deere and now BRICS? And how will this affect the U.S. economy? Can these threats backfire and destroy the U.S. economy? Or is it all a big scam by Trump to gain supporters? Let's find out the rest in this video. One huge reason Donald Trump dislikes this new and forming group is based on one of their biggest agendas: their plan of de-dollarization for their countries. De-dollarization is formed around the idea that they will be able to reduce trade in United States dollars and promote the use of their own local currency. However, Donald Trump sees this as a direct attack and has stated via online communications that he requires greater commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the US dollar. He has let them know that if this is not agreed to, he will then enforce a 100% tariff and that they would be pushed out of the United States economy. On the world stage, Trump appears to be throwing one of his famous tantrums, and people cannot help but note his use of tariffs to threaten people. This threat came after he announced his intention to levy heavier tariffs to the ring of 25% on Canada and Mexico, which was largely viewed as a very unpopular and careless move. This is without mentioning the 10% tariff he wants to place on China, which sells great quantities of products and does a lot of trade with the United States. Trump claims that these tariffs are meant to motivate these countries to do more to stop the illegal immigration and smuggling of illicit substances to the United States. These tariffs on these countries will end up costing the average American a lot of money, just as the economy looked to be improving after the post-COVID inflation period. The American economy came out of that period much stronger than many other nations. But these statements by Trump are worrying economists, as they can easily destroy the progress made and set everyone into a recession. One example for how this would affect trade and cost of goods for Americans is by supposing that a car manufactured in India is being shipped to the United States for sale. The price of the car could be $12,000, however. With these tariffs imposed by Donald Trump, it would bring the price up by 100%. What this means is that the cost of the car would skyrocket to double the cost, $24,000. This would apply to all the goods sold by the countries Trump wishes to impose new tariffs on, meaning even simple things like fruits and vegetables imported from Mexico would rise immediately. Russia has already responded to Trump's threats about tariffs by saying that this will only hasten the destruction of the dollar, as it has lost a lot of its strength and glamour all around the world. It is no longer as trusted as it once was. When BRICS was first formed in 2009, the aim was to advance the interests of other countries and lessen their dependence on the United States dollar, which is the most commonly used currency around the world. This practice had once made the United States one of the most powerful geopolitical influences across the world, and gave the country advantages like lower borrowing costs for the federal government. It was this October when the Russian President Putin started openly proclaiming that the United States was using the dollar as a weapon, and in 2023, the Brazilian President Lula proposed that they create a new common currency in South America. This plan would create a new rival in the fight for the most dominant currency used when conducting business around the world. Currently, the dollar represents 58% of the world's foreign exchange reserves. Accomplishing this could be quite difficult, though, if Putin is correct, Donald Trump's tariff plan could only hasten the diminishment of the dollar through his own actions and push another currency ahead, such as the euro or even China's renminbi. The idea that they could even promote and create such a currency to rally behind in the first place poses no threat in the immediate future, according to many experts. The organizations and political negotiations around this shared currency to counter the power of the American dollar would be very complex to orchestrate, and would require many power struggles among these allies. What is even more interesting is that trade and economics experts claim that even if the BRICS nations did manage to agree on a new common currency to promote above the dollar, they still would not have the same level of strength and integrity that the institutions the United States have been building on a global scale for generations currently have. There have even been members in the BRICS nations that have made comments and shown hesitant action in regards to actually pushing a new currency into the global stage. South Africa even issued a statement where they say they had no plans to create a BRICS currency. This is likely because while seeing a 100% tariff on any goods is unlikely, it could harm the mineral trade from South Africa. However, Trump's unpopular threats have Americans angry and concerned. Many believe that these ridiculous threats make the United States look foolish, and most of all, that it threatens no one more than the American people. Trump's rage at the idea of another currency also makes it look as if he does not trust the strength of the dollar, allowing more doubt to form in the minds of people all around the world. Ironically, Trump's ill-timed and over-the-top threats may play into Putin's hands directly, making the idea of a BRICS currency look more plausible and attractive. Now it looks as though Trump is threatening everyone into using the dollar, adding a new layer of distrust from people around the world who will, out of spite or fear, wish to distance themselves from United States-based currency. The only people not concerned about these tariffs are the allies and workers around Trump himself. They claim that these threats are all about leverage and that he has no intention of actually imposing such costly and unpopular tariffs. This is important to recall, as Trump is most known for being a businessman. One example to strengthen this claim that the Trump tariffs are all a farce is the reminder of Trump threatening Canada with a 25% tariff, which was easily forgotten in the face of Minister Trudeau having dinner with Trump. From the view of Trump's allies, this is all just a strategy to bring the leaders of BRICS to the table. One major problem with this line of thinking is that BRICS is composed of many powerful countries that easily make up half of the world. They are in no way comparable to Canada and are not the kinds of personalities who would respond to his threats in the same way Trudeau has. The criticism for this plan does not end here. While it is clear to everyone that the tariffs will harm the countries who export so much of their goods, from minerals to coffee to clothing, it will harm the people in the United States most of all. Most politically savvy and business-minded people have long since waved off Trump's threats as empty air. But now they are turning to the BRICS nations to see what they will do in response, as Trump has challenged them and their independence. Russia and China are at the forefront when it comes to promoting a new currency and discarding the dollar. While the other members are not as interested, they may soon change their minds in wake of comments made by Trump at his rallies and on social media. However, one person that has made their disinterest in this endeavor very clear is the External Affairs Minister of India, S. Jaishankar. According to him, this is not a serious conversation they are entertaining. He claims that there has never been any thought, action, or strategy to target the dollar, and it simply is not a part of their political plans. This statement tracks very well with the information we have about India, as the dollar makes up more than half of all trade invoices. It would truly take many generations to introduce a new currency to take the dollar's place. But the BRICS nations have made their dislike for the United States' methods of controlling others with their ability to cut countries out of payment systems or freeze dollar reserves very clear. This abuse of power will no longer be tolerated, is what they are trying to convey with their de-dollarizing plan. Donald Trump's refusal to stop using economic coercion or the dollar as a weapon is what has made this topic such a serious and dangerous issue. Is Russia's warning just manipulations from a cunning president or a warning for the world? Thank you for subscribing. Make sure to share this important video with your friends and family. Never miss an update by turning your notifications on and liking the video.